Welcome to A Line Through Time, where I take the time to look through your favourite franchises and work out how it all lines up. Nioh 2's second expansion, Darkness in the Capital, releases today, sending Hide on another time travel adventure. So what better way to celebrate than to talk about a time travel adventure featuring our previous hero, William. William was featured in Warriors All-Stars just under 2 months after his debut adventure, alongside characters from Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden, which I've already proven are set in the future of the Nioh universe. But the question we're going to answer today is, what point in his personal timeline is William plucked from to take part in this crossover adventure? One's first assumption is probably that William is brought from the middle of his return to England, seeing how the Nioh stage in All-Stars is the Tower of London and William is sporting his samurai gear and has Saoirse back. However, there is evidence to suggest that, while the stages are formed from the memories of the warriors, they aren't necessarily based on the same point in time that the hero comes from. The Ninja Gaiden stage is based on the climax of Ninja Gaiden 3, but Ryu expresses no urgency in getting home to resolve that matter, and he's got the Dragon Sword which he doesn't have at that point. Additionally, in his recruitment mission, Yukimura recognizes Osaka Castle, but not the additional fortification built out front. You know, the Sanada Maru which he built. And it has nothing to do with Mitsunari or Naotora, since both of them were dead by then. So the tower being the location plucked from Nioh has nothing to do with William's timeline. Fortunately, with Koei having so many other series based on the Sengoku era, there are plenty of opportunities for William to reference his world's counterparts of these other famous figures. The two notable instances of this are with Ishida Mitsunari and Oda Nobunaga. William's conversation with Oda's feline counterparts can be interpreted as an acknowledgement of his having met the undead form of the warlord.
There was a man much like you in my world. I wasn't able to meet him while he lived.
If interpreted this way, it suggests that he's already had his fight with Nobunaga, which leads immediately into the Kelly and Yamata no Orochi fights that cap off William's time in Japan. Soon after this, Mitsunari is executed. This explains why William refers to him in the past tense when speaking with the Warriors version.
Ishida was unpopular among friend and foe alike. He was determined to fight for what he believed was justice.
Our final piece of evidence is actually the first thing we hear from William when he meets Ryu and Ayane in their first stage.
Where am I? I should be in Japan, but I am William. I was supposed to be in a place called Japan.
Evidently, if he was in Japan at the time, he's either not gone back to England to deal with John Dee yet, or he's already done so and just returned to Japan for the Dragon of the North expansion. With said expansion over a month away at the time of All-Stars Japanese release, I find it unlikely he was intended to be from during or after it. All we had at the time was the main game, so it would only make sense for him to be from no later than the end credits. And yes, he does refer to Nekomata in present tense in All-Stars, despite him being dead as far as William knows at this point. But if William had arrived back in Japan already, Nekomata would have been brought along with William as Saoirse was, since he's possessing him again by then too. To me, it seems that the most likely point in time, based on our evidence, is after Mitsunari's execution, while William is preparing to return to England but before he actually sets off. And that's that. I really want to see an All-Stars 2 or to have William show up in another crossover that acknowledges All-Stars, just to see how his friendships change in light of his having now met his own world's Yukimura and having had his duel with Jin Hayabusa. And we could get some of the more obvious comparisons now that they don't have to be vague about Nioh's plot, like comparing Ayane to Okatsu or comparing Seiryu to Masamune's Blue Dragon. I've been planning to make this kind of video for a long time now, piecing together what point in a character's personal timeline they're from in a crossover. Would you guys like to see more like this? Be sure to let me know. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a capital to illuminate. If you liked this video, why not subscribe and support me on Patreon like these fine people here? If not, then make sure to share it with your enemies so they can suffer along with you. Today's recommended playlist is The Night Parade by Drake Vagabond. Half of them are about Nioh characters and even a couple bits of obscure but really interesting lore based on historical context.